Hey fellow YouTubers, I've been wanting to do this video for a very long time. Not on the guns. The guns are actually going to be a part of a future video where I talk about my everyday carry and why I carry in a particular way that I do. It's going to be the Ruger LC9, which I just picked up today, and the very fine Glock 33 converted to 40 S&W. But I'll do those videos at another time, and for now I'm really going to concentrate on these two fine crossbows that I have here. I just got in the mail the TAC 15, and I've had the 10i. I've had the 10i for well, I guess about 6 weeks or so, and what's interesting about the 10i versus the 15 is that they both have different purposes. The 15, because of its increased velocity, is kind of a sniper's weapon. In fact, it was developed in concert with the U.S. military for that purpose. The 10i is more of a hunter's crossbow. It's about 350 feet per second, and the 15 is coming in at around 405 feet per second. But what's interesting about these is, now that I've got them side by side, I'm just in awe. The 10i has been a lot of fun to shoot. I've had some issues with it, but I'd really just kind of like to show you the differences. The 15 has a little longer draw length, and that's what's given it the increased velocity, obviously. And the 10i, it's in a little bit different configuration. I've got I've obviously got a collapsible stock on there, and it's, as you'll notice, it's actually got an integrated lower on it, whereas the 15 does not. That's this lower right here on the 15 is actually a lower that I built myself. I built it two nights ago. It was a pretty fun build. And I might mention that the AR-15 that I have, it is the trigger's better on this Rock River's the Rock River parts that I added to the Stag Arms stripped lower. But what a great combination these things are. From the look of it, you can see that the cams appear to be the same. I've got the same bipods on both. In fact, it's the 15 sitting a little bit higher because I've got the bipod extended, and on the 10i I don't have it extended. So it's actually going to be sitting at the same height. You can see the cams, the difference in the cams. I've got the same scope combination. The 10i is a brand new crossbow, and the 15 is used. I got it off of a great gentleman on Crossbow Nation. Here's the differences between the two. The sun is setting. I hope this lighting is good enough. This is the heart and soul. This upper. This is the heart and soul of the PSC TAC series. That upper that you see right there, and that's kind of the inner workings, as you can see. And on this one, this is the broken one that was on the 10i. Alright, I brought these inside so that I could show them to you a little bit better. And oh, by the way, Merry Christmas. Absolutely, Christ the Savior is born. And at any rate, I just want to throw that in there because Christmas is about Christ's birth. So many times we forget that. But at any rate, here are these two parts side by side. On the left is the brand new one that just got sent to me. The bow itself still has the crank is broken on it. On the right is the broken one. I just want to show these parts to you up close and personal before I finish this video. And so here is where the cord gets wound up. I'll show that functioning to you later. I'm about to show you the intact piece so that you can tell the difference of about what I'm about to show you. And here's where the piece is broken. Right in there. I'm going to show that broken piece to you in a second, right there. So that's actually part of this, which is the takedown lever. So you press that and watch what happens. It releases this. Releases this crank so that this can be pulled out and down the bow so that you can then wind it back up. Alright, it's a pretty cool mechanism. In fact, here's where the crank attaches. It's a pretty cool mechanism. In fact, let's just go ahead and show it to you. That releases, yeah, push up, and out it comes. If you let go, it's not coming down. Release it, comes out. Alright, so set that down for a second. Here's the broken piece. You see it's a different color too. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if they used a different contractor to manufacture this piece. There's the crank side. There's the release lever. But then looking underneath, so here, this thing just freely slides out. And get this lighting just right. I think you can see it. Let me see. I mean, it's so, like, to my, yeah, there it is. Big gap. Right there. Let me get out of the light for you. There's a big gap in there. On the other one, that piece is intact, and so I think it's because I'm holding up upside down. It'll just release freely. It's not gonna. Yeah, that still moves up and down, but because it's not attached, it's not gonna hold this thing in place. So that's clearly broken. And in fact, the piece came that way, and it was a little upsetting because I couldn't even shoot it. But and this is where the scope attaches. This is a pretty cool, I mean, just looking at it, I figured it out in about 5 minutes once I took it off, what was wrong with it. This little sled piece right here is pretty cool. I mean, the engineers at PSC, they did a heck of a job. This piece right here is the piece that actually cocks the hammer on the lower for the AR-15, and it cocks the hammer on the 10i as well. This piece right here is, I'm not quite sure what this does. I'll figure it out, but this piece cocks the hammer. Oh, I think this is what releases it. I think this is what releases it, but it's pretty cool. It's a very interesting piece of machinery. So those are 2 parts side by side, and that's a little bit of how it works. And here's the crank. You gotta release. You gotta push down on this, so it'll actually crank in. It's just really, really cool. I think it's something else to look at and tear apart and figure out. But anyway, there it is. Wyvern Creations. I got the 10i from Wyvern Creations off of eBay, and once I notified them that part was broken, as you see there, they immediately sent me a replacement upper. And just to show you how it's attached, you can kind of see how it's different. Sorry about the shaking. You can see how it's colored differently there, and it's attached by those Allen screws right there. So it's kind of it's an interesting setup. This is the way you release the, in fact I've got this one, I got the 15 already released partially, and that just goes, this just releases down that long track, attaches to this, and voila, and then you reel it in using the crank. But I want to show you something else. So you've got you've got that upper, okay, and this is the piece that Wyvern Creations LLC sent to me. I want to show you what happened to that piece. So right here you can see that that housing is there's something wrong with that housing. So this should look like that. It's stripping away, and the ball bearings are coming out of it. And so I told Wyvern Creations again, and again they sent me a new upper. So they sent me that. They sent me this upper right here. So I'm gonna send the original one that I had on the crossbow plus this one. I'm gonna send it right back to PSE. So the service has been fantastic. Wyvern Creations has come through for me, and I appreciate that. I want to show you another issue that I've had with the 10i. I mean, I've kind of had some bad luck because I've been talking to folks on crossbownation.com, and they tell me that most of them haven't been having issues. But as you can see, the 10i and the 15 both come with a whisker biscuit, and one of the issues with the whisker biscuit is that although it's very simple, it does tend to beat up your vanes, and I'm having an issue with vanes. So there's a good vane should have 4 vanes on it. This one has 3 because the other one's stripped off, and you can see these are already kind of beat up. These are the 10i. These are the 10 arrows. On this one, 2 of the vanes have been stripped off already. And I mean, this is really frustrating for me. I'm like, are you serious? You know, is it supposed to be this bad? And this one's almost done. I've got a good 10i or 15 arrows. These are longer, obviously, to fit in a longer draw length of the 15. And check this out. I haven't shot it yet, but the gentleman who sold me this, he hasn't had any issues with these. I think he had these customized. In fact, he's got a fire knock on here, and I can't wait to try these things out and actually show this thing shooting, show them shooting together. But the thing that was interesting is that I thought that the upper, this thing, would on that 15 would be integrated into the upper housing, and as you can see, it's not. It's actually different. It's the same as the 10i. So and I guess it's because you really don't want this whole thing together, machined together, because then you have to send the whole thing back if something went wrong. And maybe that happens frequently. I don't know. It's happened frequently to me with the 10i. With the 15, we'll see how my luck goes. But I'll send it back if it causes any problems. But as you can see, it kind of looks similar to the 10i, where it obviously is. You separate the upper with those 6 Allen screws, but the firearm and the lower is the lower to an AR-15 is classified as a firearm, as most of you know. And the cool thing about it is, you just snap out the pins, and there's videos on YouTube of how to do that. All you do is just push these pins out, just like you would do in a regular AR-15, and off it comes, and and you can just snap it to your firearm as well. There's some interesting, I had some thoughts about different applications. You know, say if I were traveling to a different country and I wanted to do some hunting, I don't think that I would take this crossbow. I would either take a regular vertical bow, or I would take the 10i. And the reason why I would take the 10i, if I was flying to another country or just, you know, going to another country, is because this is a firearm. The lower is classified as a firearm. And I don't want those complications and paperwork. It's probably not that difficult. It's not that big of an issue, but I'd rather just travel with something that's a pretty powerful bow by itself, 350 feet per second, versus taking something that's a little more complicated in terms of the paperwork. Here are the arrows side by side. Oops. Yeah, so it's about 3 inches taller. There's a close-up of the cams, and I can't wait to shoot this. I can't wait to shoot both of them side by side and see what happens. Let me show you real quick, for those of you that are not familiar with how to load the TAC series. I got to figure out how to do this without any hands. So you just pull this down, and this releases that mechanism that I was showing you earlier. Press that down. At the same time, you just pull this out. I probably can't do it with both hands, so I have to show you later when I'm shooting it, and it'll make more sense to you. But two great weapons. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm out of here.